finally, position yourself as a center of influence, the one who knows the movers and the shakers. You don't have to be the mover and the shaker. People respond to that, and soon you will be exactly where you need to be to get to the next level. And so finally, I would say to you, you already have a network. You already have one. It isn't that difficult to build a more powerful network. Focus on your critical 50 people. Let people come in and out of your network. Things change in your life of what you need, opportunities or information. Make sure it's robust, that people in your network will take your calls or those referred to you and get back to them within 24 hours. That will put you in the upper 5% of all folks. Make sure it's wide, and by wide I mean have it across sectors. I now have people in the entertainment industry, movie directors, media, regulatory, the federal government, and across geography globally. And deep, and by deep I mean thought leaders, people who can make things happen for you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Judy. That was absolutely fantastic. We have really, really enjoyed hearing from your expertise, and I can honestly vouch and tell those that are on the phone that I've seen how Judy's process operates firsthand. You know, we met through happenstance. She asked how she could help me, actually had a few ways that she could help me, and I felt it was okay to ask because she was a very open person who seemed very sincere, and that has led to a tremendous network of new opportunities for me individually. And so I felt very strongly that this type of knowledge and this type of approach to networking is very, very unique. It's also, in my opinion, a lot more authentic.
Yes.
And so I think there's a concept, and it's maybe a more broad question to ask, but I think that for a lot of people that are experts and very smart and very good at what they do, they just subconsciously feel that the type of projection that you're talking about, where does it become self-promotion and uncomfortable for them? They love what they do. How do they do this in an authentic way that feels real? Whether they're shy, you talked about being shy, whether they feel their work should speak for itself, whether they feel like they're kind of done with that. Maybe they've chosen this career path to avoid the politics of having to constantly project oneself. What's your way of guiding them?
You know, I just start simply with building a relationship. That's the number one thing you need to do when you meet a person. And I always try to help everyone I meet, and that can just be a smile. Mm-hmm. So yesterday at the hotel, I saw a woman. She looked like Esther Dyson, who I know, but I wasn't quite sure. And by the third time I looked at her, I could see she was wondering why I was looking at her. And so I went up and asked her, and she said no. And I said, oh, I had met Esther in Silicon Valley, thought that's who you were. And she came over and started talking to me, and it turns out she's a very famous photographer who Steve Jobs went to with this strange object called a mouse that he wanted her to photo. So here's a stranger who I now have in my network, and you will find that there's these people around you all the time. But if you hadn't taken a moment just to talk, so it's very easy to just start talking. Now, a lot of people tell me that they're shy and they can't talk to folks, and I say, you know, you can find them trapped in line. So when you get in a grocery line, in a bank line, smile. Get comfortable with saying hello. Honestly, look at somebody. If something strikes you, they have a nice smile, they have a nice shirt, whatever, just make a comment, and you'll be amazed. It brightens people's days, makes them happier. Mm-hmm. And then when you meet people in groups, you just tell them a little bit about you and what you're about, make it personable, and then see if they will engage. And if they do engage and it strikes you like Charlie Munger is one of his people that says, you know, I've got to have this person in my network, just like you. Mm-hmm. I knew we needed to be friends. Then you continue to develop the relationship.
That's a great response. Well, we have a really interesting question that's come in, and actually one that I think I've struggled with as well, that comes from one of our listeners, and it says, my challenge lies in converting friendly relationships into clients. Any suggestion on how to bridge from a cordial or friendly relationship to a client relationship? And that's, you know, a really tough one for people to ask.
You know, I don't think it is so tough. I think it's the fear. I think this is back to, you know, don't underestimate the power of the fear. And make sure that there's a fit. Make sure this person really could hire you as a client, that you're not asking the wrong person. It is about engaging.
Well, excellent. Well, that's a great response. You know, we had another great question that's just come in. How much time do you spend, Judy, that you commit to helping the people you meet? Do you have a formula that you use, or is it more intuitive?
I just have made it a part of my life because I have seen how far I've come. And literally, in high school they told me I wasn't smart enough to go to college. I thought I was stupid, wasn't cute, didn't go to Harvard, and I have been amazed at how far I have been able to go, both with opportunities, finding money for people. And what I'll tell you is everything really, honestly, is out there. The money is out there, the people who have the answers that are out there. And I just make it a part of my day to just be gracious. Some people I'll meet and they'll ask me something and I will send them an article information. Some people I just say hi to. But other people that I meet and have that connection with, then I spend more time with. But this isn't something I dedicate 4 hours a day to, probably not even an hour.
Right. So and I think it goes back to the comment you made, the quality versus quantity.
Yes.
Because that strikes me as I was listening to you speaking. That, for me, was a very true thought. Because I think what happens, especially with new folks that are moving into the field of owning their own business, being an independent consultant, it's very hard to balance the A for effort with doing the right things.
Yeah.
So that, to me, is a big insight.
Yeah. And someone just asked for us to repeat tip number 1.
I can actually take us back to that.
Okay, let's go back to tip number 1.
We'll slide through pretty fast, but hopefully we'll get there. And you get to see a quick recap. It's always fun to look at this going backwards, right? Okay. Am I nearly there? Oops.
Where did we have tip 1?
I may have. What's stopping you? What's holding you back? Shots. We have a nice tip. You passed it up many slides ago after the chest slide. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. So tip number 1 really is focusing on critical 50. And this is my notion that if all you have is your friends and family, they know everybody, they don't really bring a lot of new opportunities to you. So I focus on the next level, which is 50. And this is a level that I think you can manage pretty well. Other than that, I certainly do probably have 150 people that I stay in contact one way or the other. And the secret is that if you go out of your way and you help people, you get back on the call, you do whatever, people do not forget you because 90% of the world do not keep their commitments, do not make the phone call, don't think of you. So if you think of somebody, does that help, Adam? Oh.
Now, I had a question that I was thinking about that I think could be interesting. When you mentioned the book, The Startup of You, from Reid Hoffman, and I think he has a really interesting concept in that book that you sort of alluded to, which is the Interesting People Fund. He has this idea that you should put aside a certain amount of, whether you call it money or time, where you might even get on a plane and go meet an interesting person. What is your thought on that? And how have you applied that principle in your life?
When I was the CEO of a company, my board chair said they should just pay me to fly because I met so many people, helped close deals, found new potential acquisitions. And so I think it is important. All around the country now we're seeing lunch groups, dinner groups show up. In Salt Lake, I was recently invited one, and it was a group of Bernstein top people that Bernstein manages $550 billion, and they just pulled 10 people that they really liked in their network to come learn how to cook Caribbean food. And all of those people, guess what, developed relationships. And they were curated groups, so they were powerful folks that could help you make things happen. Not everyone, but certainly a lot of them.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of interesting people on this webinar. We're getting some really fun comments. I think we have somebody already practicing.
Yeah.
Judy, how, which I This is absolutely fantastic. So thank you to Steve for putting the advice into action. If there aren't any additional questions, I think we'll probably use this opportunity to wrap up. And we really appreciate all the great comments that are coming in. I know that people have really appreciated the information that Judy has shared. Just because it has come up a couple of times, I'd like to let you know that we will be sending out a recording of this entire webinar, including access to the slides, and that will come via email to everyone who has attended and those that did sign up but were not able to make it. And really, again, appreciate everyone's participation. We had a really large group on the phone. And Judy, I wanted to say thank you to you.
Well, thank you.
For the time to come out here.
Thank you. And at the very end, there will be a slide eventually that has my contact information, and I would be happy to talk to folks. If anyone would be interested in, spending a few minutes on the phone or has a burning issue that I didn't talk about or would like some information, I would be happy to help. So thank you very much, and go do it. Make your dream come true.
Thank you. And here is Judy's information so that everyone has that up on the screen. And again, we've, a good one, an easy one to remember is her website is her name, JudyRobinett.com. And also, for those that are new to MBO and do not know about our company, there's many ways you can stay connected. We offer these series every month, and we obviously offer them to help educate the market. And so you can visit our website, email us, or sign up for additional information so that you can stay informed of upcoming webinars. Thank you again.
Thank you.